Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Star Montana Jordan has ideas for a George cameo. It's been decades since viewers first met Georgie Bluth Jr., the quirky, awkward, and often frustratingly charming scion of one of television's most dysfunctional families. While George's antics in Arrested Development remain a cultural touchstone for a certain kind of comedy, the legacy of the Bluth family has extended far beyond the original series. Now, thanks to the burgeoning world of spin-offs, reunions, and streaming revivals, fans have been buzzing about one particular story thread: Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. And surprisingly, it's Montana Jordan, best known for his breakout role as a smart, sensitive young actor in Young Sheldon, who's offering a fresh perspective on how George might make a cameo in this storyline. The unlikely connection: Montana Jordan meets the Bluths. At first glance, the connection between Montana Jordan and the Bluth family seems tenuous. Jordan, 21, is recognized for his portrayal of Sheldon Cooper's childhood in a small Texas town, navigating the trials of genius-level intellect and awkward social interactions. But Jordan has a knack for finding the humor in tense or awkward situations, a skill that, frankly, aligns perfectly with the Bluth family ethos. In a recent interview with TV Insider, Jordan revealed that he's been quietly following Arrested Development spin-offs and specials. "I've always loved that show," Jordan said. "The way they handle timing and awkwardness is incredible. And I keep thinking about Georgie. The poor guy never really gets his due. Especially when you look at his first marriage. There's a lot of untapped potential there." Georgie and Mandy, revisiting the first marriage. For longtime fans, Georgie's relationships have often served as punchlines rather than meaningful story arcs. His first marriage to Mandy, while mentioned in passing in the original series, was never fully explored. This gap in the narrative presents an opportunity for writers to dive into Georgie's past, his romantic missteps, and perhaps even his awkward charm. Jordan is particularly intrigued by the idea of seeing Georgie navigate his first marriage with a new lens. Imagine Georgie trying to be serious about marriage, Jordan muses, while still being Georgie. It's a delicate balance between sympathy and comedy. And Mandy, I think she deserves a little more depth too. In Jordan's vision, Mandy isn't just a peripheral character, she's someone who challenges Georgie, makes him question his own tendencies, and, in true Arrested Development style, gets caught in absurd scenarios that only the Bluths could orchestrate. Think of a wedding rehearsal gone spectacularly wrong, a mix-up at the family's corporate office, or even a catastrophic honeymoon in Cancun. How George could fit in. So where does George come into all of this? Montana Jordan has some very specific and delightfully meta ideas. 1. A time-traveling guest appearance. Jordan suggests that George could appear in flashbacks or dream sequences. "You could have George sort of haunting Georgie in a way," Jordan explains. Like he's giving unsolicited advice on how to be married, which is funny because George himself is a disaster. It's almost like Georgie is trying to avoid being George 2.0. This approach allows the original character to make a cameo without upending continuity. Plus, fans of David Cross or Michael Cera, depending on the incarnation, would get a little nostalgia-laden treat. 2. The awkward mentor angle. Another idea Jordan floated is that George could be cast as an awkward mentor for Georgie's own version of being married. Imagine George showing up at a couple's therapy session, bumbling through advice, and somehow making the situation worse. This would create the perfect opportunity for classic Bluth humor while reinforcing the idea that familial dysfunction is generational but also laughable. 3. A subtle Easter egg. For those who prefer a lighter touch, Jordan proposes an Easter egg cameo, a quick background shot, a line of dialogue over a phone call, or even a voiceover. "You don't always need a big, in-your-face cameo," he says. Sometimes just seeing George in the background at a Bluth family wedding, awkwardly holding a drink and judging everyone. That's gold. Casting challenges and possibilities. Of course, any idea involving George Bluth Jr. comes with its own set of challenges. David Cross, who famously played Tobias in the series, has commented on the difficulties of reviving the show due to scheduling conflicts and cast availability. Even more so, Michael Cera, the actor who brought George Michael Bluth to life, has a busy film career. Jordan, however, is optimistic. He believes that a brief cameo doesn't require a full shooting schedule. A lot of these spots could be filmed in a day or two, Jordan points out. And with clever writing, you could create a scene that feels essential to the story without taking over the spotlight. There's also the creative liberty of recasting, an idea Jordan doesn't shy away from. Sometimes, a younger actor could step in for Georgie in flashbacks or parallel storylines, he notes. It's all about capturing the spirit, not replicating the past exactly. Humor meets heart, a delicate balance. One of the things Montana Jordan emphasizes most is that any Georgie cameo needs to serve more than just comedic purposes. While Arrested Development is known for its humor, often of the sharpest, most ironic kind, Jordan believes the cameo should also highlight Georgie's humanity. Georgie isn't just a punchline, Jordan insists. He's a guy who's been through a lot, and I think the first marriage is a chance to show that. You can have all the Bluth absurdity you want, but at the core, it should feel like Georgie is genuinely trying, failing, and maybe even learning a little. That's where the heart comes in. Fan reactions, a groundwork for hype. Unsurprisingly, Jordan's ideas have sparked excitement among fans. Online forums and social media are buzzing with speculation about what Georgie and Mandy's first marriage might look like on screen, and whether George's cameo could actually happen. Some fans have even started creating mock trailers, blending clips of George with imagined scenes of Georgie and Mandy. Others have written scripts, proposing everything from disastrous wedding speeches to a hilariously awkward first anniversary. Fans have such a creative imagination, Jordan says with a laugh. It's inspiring. Honestly, I think the best part is seeing how people engage with these characters decades later. It shows how timeless the Bluths really are. Montana Jordan's vision, more than a cameo. While the cameo ideas are exciting, Jordan's broader vision is about revitalizing the Bluth universe with fresh perspectives. By focusing on Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, writers have the opportunity to explore untapped emotional and comedic territory. Jordan envisions a storyline that balances absurdity with genuine character development, offering both laughs and emotional payoffs. Imagine Georgie learning to compromise, Mandy holding him accountable, and George being George, Jordan muses. It's chaotic, it's awkward, it's funny, and it's somehow very human. Final thoughts. Montana Jordan's take on Georgie and Mandy's first marriage and the potential for a George cameo is a compelling reminder that classic television characters still have stories left to tell. With careful writing, clever direction, and a little nostalgia, the Bluth universe could return in a way that honors the past while exploring new dimensions of humor and heart. Whether fans get flashbacks, mentor mishaps, or subtle Easter eggs, one thing is clear. The Bluth family's awkward charm is timeless, and actors like Montana Jordan are already imagining the next chapter. Georgie, Mandy, and even George might just have another chance to delight and frustrate viewers in equal measure.